Hello, everyone. This is a raw Q&A video, and these are real questions that I've been getting from founders through email and social media. So I thought I'd answer them here. This is just raw, no edits. Let's get into it. Question one: why does my business slow down the second I stop pushing? This is momentum collapse. Now, most of the time, the driver, meaning person setting direction and modeling the standard, is still functioning like the operating system. Now, in 9FOS, the engine chief should be running the engine, meaning the operations and systems. When everything still routes through the driver, momentum collapses the moment the driver steps back. Now, if progress only happens when you're applying pressure, your brain is still the system. And here's what that looks like. So you're the one closing the loops, chasing updates, and forcing decisions to happen. So when you take your foot off the gas, everything slows down. That's design. A real operating rhythm, meaning a weekly cadence that creates output without hero effort, keeps moving even when you're not thinking about it. So what do? You build something that runs without you being present all the time. So start here. Pick one weekly outcome that matters. Make it visible. Name the outcome owner, meaning the one person responsible for getting it done. And set the definition of done before the week starts. That means budget, timeline, decision authority, and escalation guardrails. So they know what they can decide, what they can spend, and when it's got to get done, and what actually needs to come back to you. Now, here's the part most people skip. Even with all that in place, they'll still come back to you just out of habit. And if you solve it for them, you just trained the behavior again. So when they come back to you, don't answer the question they ask. Pause. Let it sit for a second. Then ask one of these. What do you intend to do? What's your plan? What options are you seeing? What do you recommend and why? If they still try to hand it back to you, tighten it up a bit more. What decisions are you making right now inside the guardrails we set? And if it is really an escalation, make them bring it like really nice package. Have them bring the 131, the one problem with 3 options and trade-offs, and their one recommendation they're willing to own. Then your job is to keep your hands off. Prove it, adjust the guardrails, or ask what they need to execute. Over a few weeks, the interruptions will slow down. They don't stop caring. They stop needing you to carry it. Now, question 2. Why do I keep changing priorities every week? This is decision drift, and it turns into priority integrity collapse, meaning priorities change so often the team stops believing they're real. Now look, you're not indecisive, you're just overloaded. And the overload isn't usually choosing between a good thing and a bad thing. It's actually usually choosing between 2 good things. And you can't do both right now. So when everything feels important, nothing feels obvious. Then the pressure starts deciding for you. A client hits you up, revenue goes, and a quick question hits your inbox. You reshuffle the week again. That's the trap. Activity can feel like accomplishment, while the real priorities get sacrificed to whatever's gone crazy that day or is the loudest that day. Here's what it costs. Your team doesn't just roll their eyes, they split. Each department starts interpreting what matters, and they pull in different directions. Now, you're just unfocused. You're creating silos. Internal friction becomes people are working at cross purposes. So the fix has to force trade-offs. You need a priority reset threshold, meaning a rule for when things are allowed to change direction. Here's one that works. Pick 1 to 3 priorities for the week. Write them down. You don't add a new priority unless you remove one. And make the removal explicit. I mean, stop doing lists. Stuff you're choosing not to do this week, even if it's a good idea, because every yes has a cost, and the cost is your focus. Clarity isn't about thinking harder. It's about protecting priority integrity long enough for the team to actually execute. Now, here's question 3. Why does my team keep asking me things they should already know? This is hidden dependency, and it often starts as founder availability bias, meaning your team routes decisions up to you because you respond fast. And let's be honest, it feels kind of good. A little intoxicating to be the one with all the answers. You get to be the hero, the fixer, the closer. Problem is it trains a company that can't move without you. They're not incompetent, like they're not stupid. They've learned to depend on you. And every time you jump in to save time, you're also stealing their chance to learn. You're taking their rep away. They don't build the muscle because you keep doing it for them. Most of the time, it gets trained in just like the small moments. You answer quickly, you clean it up, give the quick clarification, and now they've learned the safest move is just to bring it to you. Now, 2 tells show up. They ask questions that should already be handled by the playbook, meaning a written order of operations that turns a one-off answer into a repeatable asset, or they ask because they don't trust what happens if they decide without you. So don't lecture them about stop asking. Change the routing so decisions don't default upward. When they ask you something, don't answer it first. Ask, what do you think the answer is? And what would you do? Then make a rule to yourself. If you answer the same thing twice, it becomes a playbook. One place, owned by one person, and don't forget to keep it updated, keep it current. Because if leadership dependency replaces the system, they'll just keep hitting you up. And if you keep rescuing them, they'll never learn. If you've got a question you want me to answer in one of these raw Q&A videos, click the link in the description, drop your name and email and your question, and if I pick yours, I'll email you when the video goes live so you can watch it. All right, see you in the next one.